Welcome to the Danis Files, a Popcast series exploring the life and experiences of Our Lady of the Lake University administrator and educator, Mary Francine Danis, PhD. Sit back and enjoy the Danis Files.
But all of us, as you all as writers and thinkers know, all of us who write can keep on developing our skills.
Most definitely, yeah.
And those of us who write seriously and playfully know the value of getting feedback from somebody else who writes and thinks about writing.
Right.
So helping ourselves and helping the bigger world of the academic community understand that that the Writing Center is a place for all writers.
Right.
Is that's an ongoing challenge.
Right.
While I'm thinking about it, let me come back to why I went to Michigan State for my doctorate.
Okay.
What made me jump there, I'm not sure. But when I started teaching at Our Lady of the Lake, I taught freshman English because that's what most of us did. I think I also had the chance right away to serve on the team. We did a team-taught sophomore literature course for several years, which was ideal for a new faculty member. We took turns giving lectures to the whole sophomore class, and then we met in sections of 20 or 25 for discussion of the literature, the other 2 days a week. And then we would rotate sections so that students got a chance to interact with most of the faculty. So I learned a lot from that interaction. But I knew, I think pretty early on from teaching freshman composition that I enjoyed it, that I wanted to learn how to do it better, that people were scared of writing in a lot of instances, that they didn't feel prepared. And so I knew that if I was going to stay in teaching at the college level, I was going to most likely need to work on a doctorate.
Right.
And so within a couple of years, I realized that I wanted a program that focused on writing, teaching writing. And at that point, composition and rhetoric programs were just beginning to take off. I found one at the University of California at San Diego that looked really good. I think I found that only after I had decided on Michigan State. And so, what I ended up looking at was English education programs that prepared teachers for various levels, and that would include teaching writing as well as teaching literature, which was, that broader scope was probably good for me in a lot of ways. It didn't give me the academic depth in rhetoric and composition that I would have liked. I developed some of that over the years, but that was still something that I think I've worked on all my life. But Michigan State turned out to be a place where I could get a PhD rather than an EDD. And that was one of the recommendations that one of our faculty, the chair of English at the time, gave me. She said, find a place where you can get a PhD that'll give you, it'll focus more on research, and I think within English there's a certain snobbiness. I don't know if that still exists or not. With regard to the 2 degrees. So that combination was one of the things that led me to Michigan State. And the fact that Steve Judy, who was my dissertation director, was the editor of one of the NCTE journals at the time,
okay.
the English journal, which focused on teaching high school English. And so he had that background, that expertise, and both he and Jack Junk, God rest Jack's soul, Jack Junk was the director of the graduate program in English at the time. They both wrote me personal letters that indicated, along with my, yes, you're accepted to the program.
Right.
I think the fact that at that time, this is another whole my multiple life story all woven in here. I was still in the convent. I knew that I had a job when I came back here. That was the convent thing was neither here nor there to them, I imagine. But the fact that they would be able to say, here's another one of our graduates who has a job when she finishes.
Right.
This, because that glut in doctorally prepared people who couldn't find a job, that was already a challenge and a problem in the mid-1970s.
I thought that was a newer thing.
So it's not recent people?
Yeah. And another quick historical thing, one of the things that I learned in one of my history of teaching writing classes was that the lament about students not being ready for college writing is also not a new thing.
Okay.
that goes back probably at least, I think, to the 1890s, if not earlier.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Harvard was lamenting back then that people were coming to Harvard not prepared for college writing. Now, what?
Harvard.
What kind of writing they were doing probably would be way beyond what a lot of our students coming out of a master's program these days might do, because there was just so much stronger emphasis on writing at the lower levels all the way through.
Right.
But
I don't know. I don't know if I can picture that obviously, but I guess
picture it now. We looked at that Common Core.
and I think that's just, I think we look around to contemporary issues, whether it's on a university level or a national level, and we just wonder. We ask ourselves, well, how is this that these kids are coming out?
We blame it on iPads or iPhones. No, it goes back
way farther. So it's a generational kind of concern almost.
It's a multi-generational kind of concern.